a nuestro webinar Latin America Master Meeting número 31, cerrando nuestra tercera temporada con un invitado de lujo. Pero antes de que les comente de nuestro invitado de lujo, quiero agradecer a nuestros Master Instructors que están en el detrás de cámaras, como siempre, a María René, a Lili Uribazo, a Fer Acevedo. Muchísimas gracias a todos por estar aquí, por apoyarnos. Y bueno, ya saben las reglas del juego, todos vamos a estar en silencio. Si tienen algún comentario, alguna pregunta que le quieran hacer a nuestro invitado, ya saben que por el chat pueden hacerlo. Y al final nos tomaremos unos minutitos para responder. Ahora, esto es algo nuevo. Esto es algo que queríamos hacer con nuestro invitado de lujo, que obviamente ya todos saben quién es, pero queríamos estar arriba de la bicicleta, hacer algo diferente para cerrar esta temporada. Si tienes bicicleta y nos quieres acompañar desde tu bicicleta, adelante. No va a ser un ride como tal, no vamos a estar pedaleando con intensidades, no hay perfil. Simplemente es como nos encontramos todos en la calle, nos subiéramos a una bicicleta y nos fuéramos a dar un paseo. ¿Ok? Entonces, sin más, hago la presentación de nuestro invitado. El día de hoy tenemos al mero, al embajador de la marca Spinning, al ciclista Josh Taylor. Josh Taylor, welcome to our show.
Hey guys, it's great to be here. I'm very excited about this. So, cheers.
Salud, cafecito para los que tengan su café. Salud. So this is gonna be a coffee shop ride. Vamos a hacer un paseo con café. Si tienes tu cafecito, como te digo, ahí acompáñanos. Recuerda, esto es simplemente un paseo. Vamos a estar tratando de traducir todo para nuestros compañeros que no entienden muy bien el inglés. Bueno, ahí estaré traduciendo un poquito y también en el chat pueden estar leyendo. Ahí Mari nos va a hacer el favor. So Josh, how have you been, buddy?
I've been okay. You know, what a absolutely crazy world we're living in. I tell you, I was telling somebody this story yesterday actually about. I'm coming up on a year since I've been on an airplane, which for me is really crazy. The last place I was at, I was actually talking to Rodrigo about it. The last place I was at was in Italy at IMD with Rodrigo and Francesco and Luciana and Martin Timmerman and all those fantastic MIs in that huge community. So yeah, you know, listen, I'm healthy. Spinning is still as strong as ever. So I feel very blessed to be in the position I'm in right now. You can see my life has changed a little bit. I'm at my house in my humble studio that
Just pretty awesome studio, man.
Yeah, it's a cool studio. I mean, I'll page back out, but I mean you know, we put in lighting. I had the mirrors put in. I had a stage put in. We've got cameras. You guys can't see it, but it's in front of me there. All the cameras. So I've been filming from my house virtually, as a lot of instructors are doing globally, almost daily. So yeah, I'm doing okay though, Carlos. I really am, buddy.
That's good, that's good. And let me just translate a little bit of what he just said. Pues ya tiene más de un año que no ha viajado, que no se ha subido a un avión. Y eso es increíble porque pues para él es andar viajando constantemente. Y la última vez que se subió a un avión, pues fue para ir a Italia, al International Masters Days. Allá donde tuvo una experiencia muy emocionante con Rodrigo. Y bueno, pues aquí tienen su estudio que ha tenido que hacer en su casa para dar todas las clases desde ahí. Okay. Now I heard that you had an interesting time coming back from Italy. That's what Rodrigo told me. That you were like running around, getting locked down in every airport and missing flights and everything.
Yeah, a lot. So myself and Peter Pastine, I think he was on the show just what was it, last week?
Yeah.
He had the same issues. I had a little bit easier time than he did getting out of Italy. But it was very strange, you know, when all that was happening and COVID had started, you know, Italy was a hot spot So, but I got right into the U.S. when I got home, and then, like I said, my entire life changed last February, almost a year ago. So, yeah, but it could have been worse, Carlos, but it wasn't fun. It cost me a ton of money to have to change flights. So,
I would imagine.
yeah.
Yeah. Entonces nos comenta que sí, que tuvieron muchos problemas para salir de Italia porque pues obviamente en ese tiempo estaba el punto rojo del planeta en Italia. Entonces batallaron, pero no tuve que hacer tantos cambios para salir y fue divertido. So Josh, tell us a little bit about how you got started in spinning.
Oh, wow.
¿Cómo empezaste en el spinning?
How many hours do you have, my friend? Yeah, so I've been, for some of you guys that don't know me, I've been with spinning, I think it's coming up on 22 years. There's a few of the master instructors still on the team that have, I see Luciana on here, that have been around for over 20 years. How I ended up getting into spinning, it's very interesting. Carlos and I were talking about this over the week. I was actually a bike racer, or an aspiring bike racer a long time ago. And I used to ride my rollers at a health club in Quakertown, Pennsylvania, middle of nowhere. So in the winter, I would go in and ride my rollers in the aerobics studio. And the owner of that health club he came running into the aerobics studio the one day I was in there riding, and he's like, "Hey, I was just out in California and I saw this thing called spinning." And he starts trying to explain it to me, and of course I'm going, "What are you talking about? Spinning? Like people are..." So long story short, he ends up buying a couple spinning bikes, and they had a master instructor, one of the original ones. Debbie Miller was her name. There's a name from the past. She came in and certified me, and I just started teaching these classes, not knowing a whole lot about who started spinning and the history of it and all that stuff. I kind of got it in the certification, but I just ended up teaching that way. And then, I don't know, maybe a year later, I went to an event where Johnny was actually doing a charity ride, and I ended up meeting him, and about 6 months later, I was on an airplane to LA becoming a master instructor for the spinning program. And then basically my life changed. I got into professional bike racing for a bunch of years. And then, with the spinning also on top of it, it was a really good fit for me. So, in a short story, that's how it kind of happened, Carlos.
Okay, awesome. Now, para los que se están conectando apenas, recuerden que Mari está, ahí van a escuchar a Mari escribiendo, está pasando todo en el chat. Entonces ahí la traducción va a estar en el chat. De todas maneras voy a tratar de hacer un poquito de traducción de lo que acaba de decir Josh. Él dice que, bueno, él entrenaba como ciclista y en el tiempo de invierno pues se iba a un estudio y se metía con sus rodillos y su bicicleta y entraba a una sala de aeróbics donde tenían la música y todo, y ahí se ponía él a pedalear. Y entonces el dueño le contó de algo que se llamaba spinning, lo invitó a unirse al grupo, se certificó y bueno, pues ya tiene ahí alrededor de 22 años con el programa. So that's awesome, Josh. That's awesome. Now, a lot of things have happened during all those years. Do you think that this particular point where we are right now, is it the hardest you've seen, the hardest thing to get through? Like just changing everything, of going to all these master trainings or events and staying home and just doing everything from home?
Yeah, that's a great question, Carlos. I think there's been a huge shift in the way everybody is approaching fitness, approaching wellness, dealing with being kind of stuck in their own environment and can't get out of it. There's, especially in the United States, all the health club closures had been initially out of the gate, it was really hard for us at Spinning to kind of go, wow, our core business was very commercially based. But the good thing is because spinning is such a wonderful thing, riding a stationary, it's a bike that's small, it can fit in a health club, it can fit in your home, it can fit anywhere, so that's good. We were actually selling a lot of bikes to the consumers. So basically all we did was we sort of shifted most of our business over to that to meet the demand of everybody riding at home. And then we just heavily shifted quickly into our certifications, more online, doing classes online. We have Spinning Digital and Spinning Digital Plus that I actually teach on. So we've been ramping that up heavily. So, we had to, just like everybody, we had to grow and adapt to this different world. But I'll tell you what, the cool thing with this, and Luciana and I talk a ton about this, is that it just made everybody accelerate what was already coming in terms of the digital world, if that makes sense to you, Carlos. So I think in those terms, instructors worldwide, master instructors worldwide, health clubs, studios, everybody's had to think about this new world that we're living in and how we can keep our friends, our family, our supporters healthy. So that's something that I feel is it's been cool, it's been challenging, but through challenge and adversity, that's how you grow, right? So
yeah, exactly. So that's very good. That's a good point. Yeah, it was a big hit to everybody. But yeah, you got that challenge, you got that good challenge going, and that helped a lot. Entonces lo que nos dice Josh es que, por ejemplo, bueno, pues fue un momento difícil esto de la pandemia, ¿verdad? Pero de todos modos nos ayudó. Dice que él platicaba mucho con Luciana y que, bueno, llegaban a ese acuerdo de que fue como un empuje, ¿no? Que nos impulsó a algo que ya se veía venir. Ya veíamos venir que todo esto iba a ser así en línea. Entonces, simplemente nos empujó, nos hizo darle un poquito más. I don't know if you remember, I was talking to you about the 24-hour marathon 2 weeks ago. And awesome that. Well, in particular for me, that I got called up like 3 days before the event, and he was like, get everything ready, and I was like, oh my God. So I can clearly understand what's going on, but it's good because it gets you sort of in a rhythm, right? It kind of pushes you, and then you have to step up your game, but that's where you really show who you are.
Yeah. I mean, I think everybody's kind of trying to figure it out, right? I mean, some people are having a much harder time with it than others. We've had, things happen within our own spinning community that have just been, pretty tough. And I think the key in all this is trying to find just any path that you feel you can get on that's going to keep you happy and motivated and focused. Because as soon as you start thinking about all the crap that's going on, I know myself, I do it all the time. I'll be honest. I mean, I'm human. You got to kind of say, all right, let me focus on something that's positive. And I will say this, spinning fits right into that on so many levels for so many different people. I mean, look at what we started globally. Look at the lives we've impacted. The amount of money that's been raised over the last 25 plus years with spinning in terms of helping charities and helping people grow. It's priceless. I couldn't even put a number on it, but so at least with spinning, I think all of us as instructors, as people that just love it, that's a positive outlet. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Now, I also heard that you like to do charity rides.
Yeah, so how many rides have I done that have these, visuals and they have a theme and all this crazy stuff? And over the years, through, I don't know, just being on these big stages, doing stuff in cool places, I really come to a place now where I would rather do a ride that actually makes a real impact. So, for example, we were talking about my instinct ride or my animal ride or warrior. Some of those rides that can really play into tying them to a charity and making a difference in people's lives globally is something I'm passionate about doing. I'll tell you what, Carlos, as soon as this world opens up a little bit, I'm going to be on a mission to, with my instinct ride, specifically to try to get out there and raise money for animals, because my wife and I dearly love animals. I think we can all learn so much, and I think humanity isn't doing their part. We can do so much better in terms of who we share this planet with. And in my opinion, sorry, I'm getting kind of pushy, but in my opinion, we don't own them. They're not here for us. We share this.
Yeah.
So it's just like the human race and how there's so much, people are so divided. We're all sharing this together, and we all need to honor each other. We all need to be positive and supportive, right? It's just about having common sense. So yeah, if I can make a difference with my ride, especially for animals, because I have such a passion for them, I really want to do that. So I'm going to throw it out to any of you guys on this call or watch it later. If you want to set up a ride that is connected to saving animals or charities that have to deal with animals in any capacity, wild or domestic animals, I will try my very best to come to that event and do it for free. So awesome. That's something I am very passionate about. So, Carlos, I've been doing this a long time, and there's been a selfish part of spinning for me, of course, I think we all do it. We're trying to build our name up. We're trying to get to where we need to be within any given profession. But for me now, it's more about let's try to give back. That's where I'm at with that charity stuff, my man. So.
Yeah, no, and wasn't it awesome that as soon as we got into lockdown, all these animals started to come out? That was so amazing. I mean, I couldn't imagine. It was like life was breathing again. Like the world, the planet was at ease. At last, the big predator was asleep.
Yeah. And it just goes to show how much of an impact we do have on our environments that we live in. I saw something this morning on Instagram. As some of you guys know, I just started getting on social media more and more. I've kind of held off for a long time. But they were showing the path of a blue whale trying to feed, and they were showing the path of ships going across the Pacific, and how that poor whale, you can see that it's trying to get through. It just, stuff like that really kind of gets me. So if we can do anything to make a difference, save an animal out of a shelter, donate a few dollars. Another thing that's really positive, Carlos, is because everybody's home, they're going to these shelters and they're getting animals and bringing them home for companionship. So there is a silver lining in all this. I think that the entire globe is learning from, and I love it.
Yeah, no, and pets, for those of us who have pets, dogs or cats, we can understand that living with them, I mean, they're part of the family. You feel the energy. They help you a lot. I mean, I've heard that the percentages for people who have pets, like for heart attacks and stress and all that, it goes way down just by sharing a couple of minutes of just touching your pets. It's like the energies, I don't know, they're absorbing all of the bad stuff that we have.
Yeah, I totally agree. With that. Yeah, and I think we can learn from animals, their companionship, their love that doesn't hold you to anything. They're not judgmental. They're not, so getting rid of stress, and they always want your affection. I love that. I do. Whether it's a reptile you have, or if it's a furry tiger, I don't know. Whatever's going to work, but just, treat them right, treat them well, and treat them with respect. And they will return it. They will return it. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's definitely how it goes. And I have small children, and touching on that point that you just mentioned, I mean, you could get mad at a kid, and your kids will probably forget in just a snap of a finger. Well, you may be holding a grudge and holding it and holding it and holding it. Kids just forget, and they're ready to play, ready to go on. And that's also very awesome. Something that we should be thinking of while we're in lockdown, while we're still at home. Hopefully that when we come outside again, we can be with our neighbors, with our friends, with the people we work with, and have that same energy, have that same vibe, and not hold as much grudges. That's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I agree. I think like I said, there's a silver lining in this, and I do know that it's showing up in my coaching on the bike, mm-hmm. And sort of the things that I think about when I'm designing a class now, what I say in this environment. I know that on the other end of this camera is a lot of, should I say, opportunity for positive and honest words to make a difference, if that makes sense to you, mm-hmm. especially as a spinning instructor. I think we all have a responsibility. If people are following you online and you're trying to do the best you can out there, even if you've got two people on the other end, even if it's one, the things that you say can really have an impact. And that's sort of been with spinning since day one. I'm sure you guys can all agree, right? That, spinning does allow you to have a platform to not only focus on their fitness, but to focus on their mind. So it's mind body, right? And that's such a positive thing. And, I believe that if you come from hardships, if you come from things that have challenged you, if you're an athlete and you've suffered in a bike race, how you can use that in your coaching is really special. I found that out years ago in spinning, like, oh, wait a minute, I can make a difference with some of the things I say. And I've taken all different kinds of classes where some instructors are way more motivational than others. I think some people like that a lot, but I think we have to be balanced as an instructor in, let's give them a solid workout, let's make it safe, let's make it fun, mm-hmm. and then use your workout to bring in some inspiration or experience or a quote and put it in there to help make a difference physically and emotionally, because it is spinning.
Yeah, and yeah, exactly. So it is spinning. So moving on to our next topic, if I may, this is very important for all those instructors that are out there. We were talking about this over the week, and we were saying that sometimes we forget that we as instructors, even us as master instructors, we're working for a company. We're working for somebody, which is spinning, which is Mad Dog Athletics, and we took a certification, but that doesn't make us the owners of the brand, of the name. We're still working for a certain company, right? And on that, I would like to make sure that everybody here present and everybody who's going to listen or watch this webinar later on, make sure that in all your workouts, in all your online classes, please add that hashtag SpinningHQ. That is so important. That is telling the boss that we're here, we're certified, we're representing the brand, and that's just giving back to all those dollars, pesos, whatever you're earning. It's just giving back just the recognition, right?
Yeah, I agree with that, Carlos. I think, it's important. And, I have this conversation a lot. There's a few of us at Mad Dog, especially the senior advisor team. You know, that's right now, that's Luciana and myself. And I can see Luciana on here. Hey, Lou. You know, we have to juggle two things. We've got, you know, huge supporters out there in the world. And because of the change in the industry and the digital, you know, platform, you got to recognize that, yeah, you know, I love spinning, but I don't own it, you know, so I try to be as professional as I can and represent that brand as I can, because if spinning becomes generic, right, if it just becomes and we fight this all the time, trying to protect that trademark globally, we need help of all the instructors. Otherwise, our certification and our time, our blood, sweat, and tears, the money we've put out in our certification, it means nothing. So always be cautious and smart and do the right thing with that. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like any brand, any business, we have to try to all, as one collective, be part of a movement that has a business connected to it. Because I don't want spinning to disappear. I mean, honestly, guys, we're not all making millions out of this. Maybe a few people in the world are making a ton of money on indoor cycling, but some more than others. What are we really doing this for? I think, yes, for a little bit of financial gain. And then two, I think more importantly, like I said before, is making a difference, right? This is a labor of love. So I want to try to keep our collective, our family, really connected and strong and professional in that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. And so now that we're in lockdown, now that we've talked a little bit about what program we're representing and who we're working for, well, cheers. First of all, cheers. Un cafecito, salud.
Salud. Thanks for joining us, guys. I really appreciate it. I was telling Carlos, I was so looking forward to this, just because I can see real people on the other end right now. So, makes me super happy. I will say this, you know, with Spinning, if you don't know about our apps, Spinning Digital and Spinning Digital Plus, we are going to be going live through the Spinning Digital Plus platform in the very near future. So you'll be able to take classes with myself live. So I'll be able to give you a shout out and say hi. And I'm excited about that. And the reason why, Carlos, I'm really excited about that is there's a difference, as you guys probably know, looking at a ring light or a light in front of you with a phone or a camera with nobody in front of you. There's a big difference, even when you can see a few faces, right? A few people. So I know that emotionally, I get way more inspired when I know there's a real face on the other end. So I'm excited about that. So thank you for this, by the way, because this is great. Loving it. Real people.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's always exciting. It's always exciting to have somebody else next to you pedaling, which is what we're trying to do right now, right? Remember, we should do a ride, not like a ride where, yeah, we're going to be charging or we're going to do a certain profile, but just getting on the bike, pedaling, seeing whatever. I mean, you as a cyclist, myself as a cyclist, we get on the bike and we're riding with our group, and it's like Lily was saying, I just want to go out and go find the cows that live around where she is, right? And basically we do the same. We're on our bike and we're like, where should we go? Should we go to the northeast, west side, over the mountain? What's today's workout gonna be?
Yeah.
And it's just awesome to have everybody together here. I don't know how many people, can you count how many people are in the session right now? I can't really see it. I'm too far away from my screen.
Yeah. You and me both. That's why I use this camera to zoom in, because everybody's so far away.
Yeah, but it's awesome. 20? 20.
That's
okay.
Good. Yeah, it's good.
That's good. And we're going to have a lot of people watching this. I know, because in the channel we've had a lot of replays of the videos. So that's going to be good. That's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Also, I know, for example, my wife, she has her own spinner bike, And usually on Sundays, we're watching the NFL. And she's very passionate about that. I'm very passionate about it as well. And we're next to each other riding, watching the games. And it feels different. It just feels different. It doesn't feel like a workout, but you're still doing the workout, right?
Yeah, I agree. I think, if you're riding at home, we're all doing it, right? Even as instructors, as students, I think some of us love to take, love to take classes. Some people love to watch the NFL, like to watch a TV show. I know my wife does the same thing. She'll come down here because, as you can see, I've got a bunch of spinning bikes in here, and she'll jump on a bike, and I'll ride Zwift or a class on Spinning Digital or Spinning Digital Plus, but she likes to watch Netflix. Mm-hmm. She likes to just cruise and kind of do her own thing. The nice thing about bikes that if you don't have a bike that has metrics on it or connected in any way, trying to use a TV or something to kind of get your attention and go off perceived effort, that's totally fine. Now, if you have a bike like I do with a crank arm, a power crank, a chrono, anything like that, your opportunities are endless to really try to do some really cool stuff on a bike. Yeah. So I know, I can tell you right now, I'm thankful that the technology is there, and then we live in the world we live in right now, because it makes things a lot easier to be on a stationary bike that doesn't go anywhere outside of a health club or a studio. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and you feel it. You feel once you get the hang of power, once you know what your power output should be, either be it your FTP or your PST. Once you get the hang of it, and then you go outside, because I know I've been outside on my bike like maybe 3 times since last year. I'm talking in a year's time, I've been like out 3 or 4 times on my bike. Yeah. And this is so bad for me because I bought this bike and then we went into lockdown. So imagine that. It was like, what? I'm not going to be able to ride my bike, my new bike. It was like terrible.
Yeah.
But anyway, once you had, I was talking to the other MIs we've had, that once you know your power, and once you know you're putting in the watts, and you know where you should be, you go outside, and it's like, wow, now I'm really fast.
Yeah, I think it's funny because we've had metrics on bikes for quite some time now, right? We've had cadence for a bunch of years, and time and heart rate based tracking. But then when power came in, and then to do power correctly, what it's really done, instead of feeling the power of spinning, now you can actually see it. You can really see and quantify all the hard work you're putting into yourself and into that bike. In the indoor world, it is a little different than outdoor, as you were saying, Carlos. A different bike, a different power measurement system. There's going to be little variances, but overall, you kind of start to learn what it is to go easy, what it is to go moderate, what it is to go hard, and then what it is to go really hard. Because I think a lot of people out there don't really know. Like, they know hard work, but they don't know hard work. You know what I'm saying? So, when you say the word endurance and you've got a power measurement tool on a bike, that doesn't mean easy.
No,
right?
no.
So a lot of people say, oh, it's endurance class. Well, okay, let's see if you can sit at a, pretty good number that's not allowing you to go over the line, right? For 45 minutes. So those kind of things really challenge you. They allow you to grow. I mean, I can tell you that, like, I've been doing Zwift. I don't know if any of you guys do Zwift. I've been actually racing on Zwift in the world.
I know
Zwift
you guys have like an awesome team there.
Holy cow! Yeah. So I don't know if you guys know Cesar Valera, right? Do you guys know him?
Yeah.
He is a monster. I mean, huge numbers. So we have a team called Waddy Inc. Racing, a huge triathlon base, and we get on there, and I come upstairs, and my wife is like, "What were you doing down there?" I'm going harder than I have gone in years. You know what I love about it? Because I was a bike racer. I was a bike racer for so many years. That was my life. That was my, I don't know, my passion. So the competitive edge, or the competitive part of Zwift, on even a spinner bike with power measurement, it really has just allowed me to kind of just really have a lot of fun with it. If you guys have never tried it, highly recommend. Try Zwift, connect to it, get in there, because you're going to learn power to weight ratio and how your power output and your honest weight affects you in a real world type of environment that is still virtual. So I absolutely love the racing aspect of Zwift, but there's so many things you can do with training aspect. And then of course, not to keep ranting on about it, but at Spinning Digital Plus, one of the biggest things that we're doing with that platform is, you know, when I teach a class, all the metrics, if you have a crank arm or a chrono, or even a road bike that has ANT Plus or Bluetooth connectivity with a power measurement tool, a smart trainer, it'll connect right to that app, and your power comes up on screen, your cadence, your heart rate, all the things that you need. And then at the end, you can see what you've done. You know, Carlos, you and I were talking about, like, you're doing stuff online. What do people really want? Well, they want to see growth. They want to see, you know, their effort being quantified and recorded so that they can then see it later. You know what I'm saying? So, and in this technology world, it's accelerating so fastly that, you know, it even makes my head spin, because we're trying to keep up. We're trying to, you know, make sure that we're still relevant. That's really important. So, you know, all this stuff really, at the end of the day, it gives you guys tools to be awesome, not as an instructor, but as you as an individual. Because I say this all the time to people, especially the Master Instructor team: practice what you preach. If you want to be a great instructor, you have to find a way to train on your own. It's not in that class. Believe me, when I get on this bike in front of this camera, I'm not here to train. I mean, I'll get a little bit of a workout, but it's not my training, because I'm more motivating, I'm more guiding, I'm more focused on helping the person on the other end, or in a studio or in a huge spinning event. It's about them, right? So, but like I said, you need to work on you, because the more confident you are on the bike in your movement and how you feel about who you are because you're training and doing it on your own, you are going to be that much better when you're in front of that class. I can tell you that hands down. Doesn't matter if you're a really entertaining type of instructor that's really rhythm based, or if you're a really technical instructor that's all about the science, the tools and the numbers and the metrics, or if you're somebody that can kind of do both. If you feel good about you, because you are taking care of you through actually doing spinning and doing it right and doing it consistently, it's going to make you awesome. I can 100% guarantee you that, Carlos. 100%.
Yeah, no, I understand perfectly. I know it's funny that you were mentioning how your wife was asking you what were you doing downstairs. And it's funny because my wife she sometimes yells at me and, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm just working out," because she hears me breathing really heavy, and it's like, well, I'm doing a workout, because she's not used to. I used to be a bike racer as well, and she's not used to being next to me when we're doing hard efforts. So when you start hearing a person that looks so calm, so relaxed, huffing and puffing, it's like, "Are you okay?" And
exactly.
I'm right there. I'm in my threshold. But it's awesome because, you get to do those workouts. You get to be so much better. I feel that at this point, I'm in a much better place than I was when I was a bike racer, as far as knowledge, as far as power, as far as just knowing how or what I am able to do on the bike, which is something very important. I know we had Robbie Ambrosini a couple of weeks ago, and he was telling us you know what? Make sure you understand what your body composition has to or is made to do, right? That's very important because we can't all be climbers. I know that was a dream I had lots of years ago, and I was like so heavy. I was a bad climber, and I couldn't do anything. And I was like, well, people were telling me, well, you need to lose a lot of weight, and I was like, yeah, I understand that. But in the flats, it was like, phew, I was at the front of the pack.
Yeah. Well, again, it's about learning, and I agree with you. When I was a younger guy and I was racing on teams and all, I still had power measurement tools and all that stuff. I mean, you can have all the tools in the world at your disposal. If you know your power and you're using training software and all that stuff is great, but actually knowing how to use it smartly and to use it to your benefit, like Robbie was saying, and how you should be training. There's so many, should I say, different thoughts of training methods that are out there, right? I see all kinds of different zones. There's so many things, different training programs. There's so much, it almost becomes overwhelming. So I always say to people, like, listen, do the best you can do a few times a week, and then back it off some so that you're getting a little bit of base and foundation of training. Don't overthink it. Don't make it just totally crazy. But when you need to actually get after it, get after it. You know what I mean? Really, and find something that's going to allow you to get after it. So that's why, I love finding great instructors that allow you to do that, but then they're smart in the fact that they don't overtrain you. I know when I was younger, when I first got a power meter, I was a pro bike racer at the time. I got a power meter and I did a functional threshold test. I did tons of VO2 testing, all that stuff. And a lot of times, depending on the coach that I had at any given year, sometimes the coach was over pushing me. Like, just because you do a test, you got to be careful with that, because you I think people get trapped into, okay, if I'm going to do another FTP test or another PST test, you're always going after the best number that you've done kind of recently, right? Yeah. So you got to be cautious, because you might not feel that great that day, and then you're trying to do something you can't do. So, things fluctuate. Be okay with that. Be okay with that, right? I even know on Zwift, my weight changes even from day to day. So I have to go into the Zwift sometimes and change my weight so that I'm more honest with it, so that I can see my power to weight ratio as a more real representation of what I'm really doing in that world on the bike. Calibrating your equipment is so important also. Accuracy in that equipment is really important also. So yeah, I think, Carlos, I can't give anybody a perfect gem and this is what you should do to be stronger on the bike. I think ultimately what it comes down to, be consistent. Say to yourself, listen, I'm going to spend at least 4 days a week on me, and I'm going to train hard a few of those. I'm going to train moderately a few of those, and then some of them I'm going to sit back and do a coffee shop ride, right? Because I don't do this enough myself. This feels so good on my legs. I don't know about you guys that are riding, but just to toss my legs over easy on a spinning bike is something I rarely do it. Absolutely rarely do it. So.
Yeah. Oh, I see one of your cats.
That's Lilo.
Oh.
He's trying to figure out what I'm doing. So everybody say hi to Lilo.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah. So I was thinking that I was talking to an instructor. I believe it was on Monday actually, and she was asking me about the same thing, about heart rate, intensities, and all that. And I was like, well, you know what? It sometimes works out just to go easy. Because I teach PE classes. I teach 2 hours a day of PE classes, and I'm doing the work with the kids because I have 15-minute periods with each group. So that's 15 minutes I have to go almost all out with the kids. And I have to do everything because I can't be like teaching like, okay, do jumping jacks. I have to do the jumping jacks with them, right?
Right.
And it gets to a point where I do classes from Monday to Thursday. On Friday, I won't do anything because I'm stressed out. I mean, my body's just saying, you know what, it's time to rest. My heart rate monitor tells me you're overreaching. And you need to take it easy. You need to take it easy. And most people don't seem to understand that. Most people think that you should be going hard all the time.
Yeah, Carlos, I'll agree with that 100%. I think, in a lot of the stuff that's out there online, I think all of us as instructors, right, that are teaching online or at a studio, we get caught up in this. I gotta kick your ass every time because that's what makes me cool. Listen, people take your classes because they love who you are. I don't take somebody's class because they do certain types of intensity or intervals or movements. No, I like the personality. I like their focus. I like their words. I like how they guide me and helping me. So, and we all have different likes, right? But ultimately, be smart about what you're putting out there. I will say this, all this stuff that you're doing online, and I do a lot of work with our manufacturer, right? So, Precor will have me talk to a facility that wants to put in bikes and start their own program. Or if they're doing something online, you talk to an instructor about, stuff they're doing online. If you try to copy somebody else and you become part of the normal indoor cycling class, what's going to differentiate you from anybody else out there? How are you going to keep your people if you're not doing something a little bit different? And I'll tell you what makes us as spinning instructors different. We're educated.
Yeah.
Get certified, learn more about profiles and intensities, whether it's heart rate based or power based or both. But I urge all of you guys, what's going to differentiate you as an instructor from the rest of them out there is knowing more. Would you guys agree with that?
Yeah.
Yes or yes?
Yeah, definitely.
And I'm not saying you got to be a science teacher, right, Carlos? You don't have to be this crazy, like, all right, we're going to really focus in on 105% of your FTP or TS. I mean, that kind of stuff just gets overwhelming with people. You got to be smart about how you guide your students through these intensities. If you want to coach people one-on-one so they know those intensities down to the wire, down to the just minute, that's awesome. But being able to provide a class that's fun, effective being, there's got to be something behind what you're giving that person. It can't just be like, all right, I like this track, we're going to do this movement. That becomes the same thing over and over and over. You guys understand what I'm getting at? But if you have some meat on it, if you got some reason for that certain type of ride, that's effective. That's taking somebody, all right, we're working on the aerobic zone. We're going to work threshold. We're going to work whatever it is. Have something behind it so there's a gain in it. And then lastly, make it safe, because you don't want anybody to get hurt out there, right? Especially when I can't really see somebody's form. I know when I teach a class on Spinning Digital right now, or Spinning Digital Plus, I don't know who's taking the class on the other end, right, Carlos? So I've got to be really safe, really effective in what I do. And you know what? Not everybody's going to love you for that. They might like some totally different type of methodology on a bike. But I'll tell you what, stick to your guns, be educated, keep growing as an instructor, be humble, be honest, be you and not me, or not another master instructor or anybody else. Be you, be authentic, and they're going to love you for it. They really are.
Yeah. Cheers to that, buddy.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me get that coffee. I'm almost empty. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, I'm almost done.
This is my favorite coffee cup, by the way. I don't know if you guys.
Oh yeah, man, you're a Metallica fan.
Yeah, Metallica and coffee for all. Yeah.
That's awesome. So you know what? I think Mari's fingers are already getting tired.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how about we start relaxing and maybe reading if we have any questions there in our chat. If our master instructors, we don't have any questions. No? Okay,
on,
we're time for a picture then.
Somebody give me a question. Come on, let's go.
Yeah, please, somebody ask him a question. Háganle una pregunta a Josh. Algo que siempre quieran saber, que hayan querido saber de él. Adelante, ahorita es el momento.
Josh, when are you going to Mexico? Claudia's asking. Órale.
As soon as I can. Listen, I don't know about you guys, but I am like going crazy to get out of this house. Listen, if we can set up something, I know Carlos was talking about it. If we can set up something for a charity, I'll come down, no problem. Yep.
Sí, estén preparados. Ya, Josh y yo estuvimos platicando hace 2 años ya. It was about 2 years ago, right, when we talked about it.
Yeah.
And lockdown came in and it spoiled everything. Pero sí, ya estábamos en pláticas de tener algo aquí en México, entonces estén pendientes y esperemos que en cuanto se pueda viajar, as soon as we can travel again and everything is safe, sí, ténganlo por seguro que tendremos a alguien o a Josh que va a venir aquí a nuestro país. Josh, I know you came to Juarez one time, right?
I did, yeah, years ago I was in Juarez. I think I was there with Luis Hernandez.
Yeah.
You guys remember that? I did an Everest ride there.
Mm-hmm.
And I will never forget this, because it's funny you bring that up. They had one of the best sound systems I've ever been involved with at that place. It was, the speakers were 10 feet high. Oh my God. Yeah, that was, man, Carlos, that had to have been 15 years ago.
Oh, no, I think it's more than that. It was before
Man.
I was an instructor, man. It was at least 4 or 5 years before, maybe 2000.
Yeah, long time ago.
Somewhere around there. Yeah, I remember. It was a long time ago. And yeah, people were asking me, and I was like, well, I have a surprise for you guys. I'm gonna be working something out with Josh. Entonces estén listos porque sí tenemos ahí planes de traer a Josh a México. Tenemos planes de hacer un evento muy padre. Entonces solamente es cuestión de que la pandemia nos lo permita y lo hacemos. Y bueno, ¿tenemos alguna otra pregunta, muchachos?
Sí. Kili, vamos a ver. Ay, la tenía aquí, se me perdió. ¿La tienes tu mano, Fer? Permíteme. Aquí está. Dice, how do you see spinning in a near future as of today?
So where do I see spinning going, Maria? Is that really what you?
Yeah, that's what Chris he's asking.
That is a good question. I think here's how I see spinning personally, and I don't own the company, but I can tell you how most of us, including the Master Instructor team, I think what's going to keep spinning moving forward and the path that we need to stay on is we are performance-based. Now, when I say performance-based, that doesn't mean it's all about bike racing. Why we're performance-based, it's about bringing the best performance safely out of anybody that takes a spinning class. Does that make sense to you? And to answer your question, Maria, with that said, I think that is going to be the thread that's going to keep us moving forward into the future. I think technology is going to become more and more part of the spinning program. We have been talking a lot about, our certification and how that's going to evolve and change. It's with technology. It's with power measurement tools and how instructors are going to learn to teach with that and how facilities are going to keep that fun and effective, but you're going to have all these tools. I also think the spinning program will evolve in how our community comes together more and more. And that might be through technology like this. I got to tell you guys from the bottom of my heart, this was special for me to be able to connect through technology to people that, honestly, I don't know a lot of you guys at all. And you would never be in my home, but you know what? You're in my home right now. And that's pretty cool. So yeah, I think spinning is going to evolve through technology, through staying the course that we've been on for the last 25 plus years, and that's about performance-based and making you the best you can be through the program. That's where I think it's going. So I know that was a long-winded answer, but I mean, from a high level, I think that's what we're gonna try to probably really focus on. I mean, I could focus on a bunch of other little things that spinning is gonna do moving forward, but to finish off my answer, I think spinning's been around for over 25 years, and I'm gonna tell you guys right now, who knows what the future holds. There's a lot of things going on in the industry, but I take comfort in knowing that we're all part of something that is never going to end. It's never going to end. It might change, but it's never going to end. So, yeah, kudos to all you guys for making a difference out there.
No, thank you, Josh. Thank you for joining us. Y mientras que siguen buscando si tienen alguna otra pregunta que quieran hacerle a Josh, quiero tomarme el tiempo. I want to take this time to really say thanks to you, Josh, because I was one of those people that were probably on your screen. Well, not at that time, but maybe at your rides. You maybe didn't know anything about me, didn't know who I was. And I know that back in the Warrior ride, I remember that was my first time ever in Miami to WSSC, and I remember that you had like a write-in challenge to express why you were a warrior. And look at this, I get nervous just talking about it because I remember it. And it was like I need to write down what my experience is, what I've been through. And I got chosen, and I was there on stage with Josh Taylor. I got to meet him behind the cameras. It was like I was so happy. It was my first time. It was like, and I was messing with Josh yesterday. I was telling him, you're a superstar, you're a Hollywood star, and you inspire a lot of us, and it's really emotional for me to have you here. I know a friend instructor who asked me, "Are you really gonna have Josh Taylor? It was like, do you really know him?" It was like that. So I'm really happy because this lockdown really brought us together. I know I've been talking to you very much these past few months. So thank you so much for coming into this home.
Hey, listen,
Gracias.
I really appreciate it. Hey, listen, I will say this, as a spinning community, to Carlos's point, this world that we're living in is bringing us together. But do me a favor, pay attention to the people that you're talking to out there. Reach out to some people that you might not think would ever hear from you. You know what I'm saying? Because I think a lot of people need to connect with somebody. So like Carlos is saying, I was like, what? I don't get a chance to talk to the MIs out there as much as I feel I probably should. I know that this environment that we're living in right now has allowed me to kind of sit back and say, all right, I can chat with a master instructor that I don't know really well, or another instructor that I don't know really well, about something that we both love, and you get to know that human being on a different level. And so Carlos, I will say this, man, I've enjoyed our conversations. I've enjoyed listening to your passion, and I mean, listen, it's because of what you guys are doing down there in Latin America. I will say this, that the passion that comes from the Latin American team and the instructors, I mean, I feel it. I feel it. Even though I'm up here in the United States, I feel it. And we have such a global community. It's funny, I see Rodrigo on here, and he and I were talking the other day. We were just talking about, being in Italy together. And, Rodrigo and I have been together for a lot of years. Carlos, I've known him for, I don't know. How long has it been, Rodrigo? What, 15, 20 years we've known each other? But we really haven't had the chance to almost become friends as much, So, yeah, it's 20 years. And we were in Italy, and we got to spend some time together. And now through FaceTime and WhatsApp and everything else, I've gotten to know him a lot better, you know, and we've become great friends. So to all you guys out there, I say, reach out to those people that you normally, you want to, but you just kind of, you know, I'm not going to give them a call. Just do it, because if we can all kind of put our arms around each other through the spinning program, because that's a common thread, what a huge opportunity to try to make a difference in people's lives, because there's some people out there that are hurting and they need a hug, whether it's virtually or not.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
So,
Mari, ¿tenemos
¿La
alguna
foto?
otra pregunta?
Gabby wants to know, Gabby quiere saber cuándo vamos a ir todos a Brasil. When we're going to go all to Brazil.
Yeah.
Everybody,
Amen.
yeah, of course.
We need to do like a world tour.
Sí.
yeah.
Yeah, what do you guys say? World spinning tour? We're all just traveling around.
Yes.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, something's coming really soon. It's gonna be really big. It's coming out of Italy. You guys know I've been talking about that a lot lately. They have a giant event every year, and because of the world we're in now, we can't do it, but we're going to be doing something really special with a lot of all master instructors, to try to bring the global community together, and that's going to be happening very soon. So keep your eyes open for that event, because I know everybody that's going to be part of that event, whether it's myself or one of the other master instructors that has the honor of being able to teach for fee spinning, to represent spinning globally to our global community. And I know there's a lot of other events out there. I can't even name them all, but if you see a master instructor on any of those, or an instructor that loves what they do, or if they're part of other master instructors, I can tell you they know their shit, and they're going to be a great instructor, and you're going to really enjoy yourself. So I would say try to get into these events, because it's going to make you feel more connected. But I just wanted to throw that out there. I know I'm going to be part of that event that's coming up. I don't do a lot of free stuff online. The reason why is because of my contract with Mad Dog Athletics. When I do something in front of a camera, 99% of the time it has to be for spinning digital. I'm sure you guys can understand that. It's my livelihood. This cat,
I love it.
he's nuts. But yeah, listen, I would love to see you guys again virtually. Come ride with us. Come enjoy the time together with the community.
Yay! Another one. Otra. Ready, Josh?
Grab Lilo.
Grab Lilo.
Hang on, guys.
Pero wait, hang on a second. People are still writing in the chat. No me escriben en el chat porque se me desaparece. Ok, a la una, a la dos, 1, 2, and 3. Yay!
Great.
I see.
Oh my God, I love
Awesome,
him.
Josh. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being part of this third season of the Latin America Spinning Master Meetings. We really appreciate it. And to all the MIs who joined in today, also thank you. Muchísimas gracias a todos los Master Instructors que se conectaron el día de hoy, y a cada uno de ustedes, de verdad que muchísimas gracias. Saben que este programa, estas charlas, esta comunidad la creamos precisamente en base al encierro, precisamente para conectarnos, para unirnos un poquito más como comunidad. Entonces, muchísimas gracias, y ya saben, ahí tienen como siempre nuestras redes sociales donde se pueden poner en contacto con nosotros, pueden hacer sugerencias, vienen cosas nuevas para la próxima temporada. Vamos a estar haciendo más cosas, más diferente, más arriba de la bicicleta, muchísimas cosas vienen, de verdad, pero siéntanse con la confianza de escribirnos y de hacer o sugerirnos algo, y nosotros estamos más que dispuestos de hacerlo. So Josh, thank you so much, brother. Thank you.
You're welcome. Hey guys, thank you so much, everybody, and stay safe, stay healthy, and keep spinning.
Thank you, Josh.
Thank you. Gracias.
Gracias a todos. Thank you, Josh.
Ciao, guys.
Gracias
Thank
por
you.
acompañarnos.
Gracias. Bye bye.